Hi, it's Colin Coward. I started The Volume to bring you some of the most authentic voices in sports. While you're here, make sure you hit subscribe. Thanks.
First of all, I love practice player stories. I don't feel like everyone understands this aspect of the women's game, but we've written a couple of them. Those are always like the wildest features, and I think I'm glad John had the idea to bring you on. So can you first just explain what a practice player is for the people who don't follow women's basketball?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, as a practice player, I think in the beginning you kind of come in thinking like, I'm just here to get some shots up, to hoop a little bit. But no, bro, you're actually coached like you're one of the players. So you might have one of the assistant coaches that are like giving you plays. They're making sure you're doing the right things on defense. The only thing they really ask you if you're playing against a women's team is to play below the rim. But other than that, like you out there going hard, bro. Like you're actually like Liz says, a D1 athlete. You can, enjoy all the perks that D1 athletes enjoy. But
you have to academically qualify too.
You have to qualify too.
Jeez,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well, we had a story at Long Beach State of one of the male practice players for the women's basketball team was academically ineligible when they were going to the conference tournament, and the coach was like, "You believe the shit I got to deal with out here? This fucking get on the practice squad and make grades." Like,
yeah, they don't fuck around, man. They don't mess around.
How was the experience? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so something that really jumped out to me was when Dawn Staley, after she got her, after she won the chip, she shouted out the bench players. She shouted out, the players who might not have played in the championship game, but, they were the ones who, helped them with game preparation and practice all the time. And that just floored me, right? Because I know Dawn Staley is super solid, but you don't see coaches like shout out, bench players who don't get in the game. And for her to do it, after beating UConn against a coach like Gino will have the number one player in the country and flat out say, she was horrible today. You know what I mean? like it's two different ends of the spectrum with the way those two approach the game, it seems. And so, I'm just kind of curious, like, from someone who's been on the inside and worked with Dawn Staley, like how would you say that she approaches the game in her preparation and making, every player feel valuable? Because that moment like spoke volumes for her character.
Yeah, I mean, it might sound cliche, but she really preaches people playing their roles. And it's not saying that she's not going to coach hard to the players who might not play as much. It's actually quite the opposite. Like she's going to coach you like you're going to go out there and play 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like she's really brought this system to South Carolina that even if you don't play as much, like you're here for a reason. And so one quote that she said a few days ago, I think she said, you're dealing with these kids' dreams. And I was like, damn, like that's so real, because when you look at it that way, you can't cut corners. You can't like lie to these kids. You can't try to prop them up on a pedestal. Like you have to realize that they're going to be gone from your school one day and they're going to be out in the real world. And I think that's what Dawn really, that's how she approaches the game.
When I read that article, I think it was in Sports Illustrated, she said, I'm dealing with these kids' dreams. I don't take that lightly. And I mean, that blew me away. Like, when you're thinking about the person on the end of the bench, that's why you call that person out, because they had a role to play, and she made to coach him up with that role. But how was your experience playing against, like the recruits she brings in are cold as hell, bro. You know what I mean? She has a few that made it to the league. You know what I'm saying? Asia Wilson, I think, was playing for South Carolina too. You feel what I'm saying? So how was your experience playing? Because a lot of dudes talk that shit, bro. But I mean, like you said, we talked about it a little bit before. Everybody hit you with that hand, you gonna know what time it is then. You know what I'm saying?
It was funny because when I, like my last year there, Asia was doing a visit. She was doing an official visit. And one of the players, Lisa Welch, she came over. She put her arm around me. She was like, come to South Carolina. She grabbed another dude named Chris, put her arm around him. She said, these are the type of dudes we got here at South Carolina. Cute, hoopers. Like,
ooh, look at you, boy. Look at you.
They're like, but we got in practice,
handsome, bro. If you can't see him, but he is handsome. I want to let you know that.
Pretty Ricky Fontaine.
You know what I'm saying? He earned that Fontaine, you feel me?
we get into practice and they dogging us, bro. Like it's really on some shit where you think you got to kind of like tone it down because as a man, you're probably more athletic. Sometimes you might be stronger. That was not the case at all, man. Like, and Dawn treated it that way too. I remember her stopping practice a few times and asking me like, "Can you go by her?" And I'm like, "What you mean?" She's like, "Can you get past her off the dribble?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Do it." I hit a little move, go to the cup. A 5'5" guard literally took the ball out of my hands as I went up for the layup, bro. Just snatched it. It started to break. So that's the type of like tenacity that they play with. And I don't know how she gets them to buy into that, bro. But it's like every player plays like, this is my last game. I'm about to show you like why I belong here, why I should be in the positions that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Well, but yeah, man, they were some dogs, man.
I think like now it's great. The women's game's gotten so much more acceptance. Like they sold out the Final Four. You know what I mean? The ratings I think were good on ESPN. But when I first started covering college sports like 15 years ago, the people who had the most respect for women's basketball in the country were male practice players for women's basketball teams.
That makes sense.
They were the ones. I mean, this was pre-Twitter, even. You know what I mean? Like this is pre-Twitter, and it was like those are the people who, because I'm still in touch with some people from when we were in college who, you know, whenever this stupid like, how would you do against ex-WNBA player stuff will come around. It's like the NBA guys were like, no. And the people who were on the practice teams were like, no.
Right. It's not what you think, man. It's not what you think. I done been literally posted up by a person my size, my same height. You know what I'm saying? Probably way less, 10 pounds less than me, just put in the basket by a woman basketball player, man. So it's tough out there.
And I will say this too. You can actually hoop too. You a hooper, bro. You ain't just a dude. You know what I mean?
I'm not just a dude, bro.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You still booming. You know what I'm saying? Like a dog. That don't make no sense. I don't see how you still doing it, but you definitely a hooper. So
look, man, I'll say this, like, not to brag or anything, but the first time I dunked a basketball was in the 7th grade, man. I was like 5'8".
So he's not a regular by any standards.
Yeah. But he's got the go-go.
Right. He got the boys.
I had an older sister, though, who used to bust my ass because she just understood hoop. Like, she had better footwork. She had a better jump shot. All I could do was jump at the time, you know? So my older sister, you know, she put that respect in me early as a youngster.
Let you know what time it is. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, South Carolina, it's a slept-on basketball hotbed. You know what I mean? Like you got Ja, you got Zion, you got, you know, Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks on top of the college world. You got Ray Allen and KG from there. So yeah, I'm just curious, man. Can you give us some insight into like what the basketball scene is like out there?
I mean, if y'all have hooped where y'all are from, you probably know this, but like you don't have a lot of resources all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Being from here. So it's really you hooping on the concrete. Like you hooping with grown men. John, you probably hooped with dudes who were way older than you, way stronger, way bigger. You know, sure. and I like, I'm not sure because, you know, it just seems normal to us, but I can't imagine that would hurt you when you get to play more organized basketball that's in a gym with hardwood, where you don't have to worry about dunking the goal too hard and breaking the rim or some shit like that.
I never had to worry about that. I'll tell you that, Bubba. I was a shooter. Okay.
Yeah, those are shit. We call those champagne problems, bro.
Never had to worry about that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Didn't have the legs for it.
It's just like, it's tough, bro. Like I remember playing as a youngin'. My pops was a hooper too. You know, my whole family was hoopers, and my granddad taught us how to play. Like he had a little goal in the backyard and he got concrete put down and we used to hoop there every day. You know what I'm saying? Like you get beat up, bruised up, like you got older people betting money on the game. So you just it kind of puts that competitiveness into you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're dealing with pressure from the time you're like 8. Because it's like 30-year-olds like, yeah, my son's going to be all state next year. Watch. You know what I'm saying? So
And if they pull you up to that old, because like there's usually 2 courts. There's one with the young cats, and then there's one with the hoopers and the old
kids,
dudes. When you get pulled up from that young joint, you know what I'm saying? You want to show out. You feel what I'm saying? Like when you playing with the old heads, and like you said, they betting. I would never bet myself, but I would appreciate people that betted on me. You know what I'm saying? But that was an interesting experience. You bringing me back, G. I forgot about all that. Low key, though. I'm old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got the park tournaments in the hood where it's like they got a grill out there, they got a DJ, and it's like 2 of the oldest basketball goals you've ever seen in your life, bro. The court is half painted. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a nigga out there with a leaf blower trying to get the best off the court. You know what I'm saying?
It's 9 p.m. and he got a leaf blower. Fuck you got that shit for, you know what I'm saying? I remember there was I think she was from, I don't know if she was from South Carolina or North Carolina, but I think it's similar as far as basketball. I mean, the love in both, I've been in both states and spent time in both states, and the love is similar. But I remember she said that she went to school in Virginia, and when she left, she found, that was the first time she ever saw niggas that didn't hoop. She was like, you know what I'm saying? She was like, oh, nigga, there's niggas that don't hoop. I thought everybody hooped, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's crazy.
I think South Carolina is similar to that, where like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it seems like everybody hoops. You know what I mean? Like, whatever level you on, you still hoop.
And it's interesting because like, I don't think I ever really had a hoop dream, because I was always better at football. But it's kind of like people still stay in shape. Like I'm 30 now, and I still like, I want to be in shape so I can go home and hoop when it's time to hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And it's not even that, I'm trying to make it to the league, or like, I didn't already been to college and all that shit. But like, it's like everybody has this mentality where like, I got to be able to go home and play in that tournament so we can win like $250. You know what I'm saying? But it's really about the bragging rights. It's really about being able to go to the bar after and be like, yo, I bust y'all ass today. You know what I'm saying?
How does it feel seeing her win? How does it feel like, you watching Dawn Staley be successful, like knowing how solid she is and having experience? Like you said, you told me, y'all built a friendship. She, you know what I'm saying? Y'all built after you leaving school. You feel me?
Yeah. Just to kind of talk about that a little bit. When I left school, I left USC 2012, and I started working at a nonprofit art house theater in Columbia in 2013. And when I'm thinking maybe a year into that job, I started seeing Dawn come in late night, and one day I just kind of worked up the courage to be like, Hey, Dawn, you remember me? I used to play on your practice team. She came in, she looked and she's like, boy, I know who you are.
Bro, I love that.
Those are the hardest moments in adulthood, bro. I hate that
truly.
shit.
It's like you're too old to be like shy about it, but you're also like, I'm not your age, so I can't approach you as a peer.
And also, she's Dawn Staley. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
But I got a chance to like thank her for making me part of her part of the team or whatever. And she was just like, that means a lot to me. And every time she would come in, like we would chop it up about movies. She would like throw little hints and be like, hey, my favorite movie is Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all want to play that on a late night one day? Because she would be like her and maybe her sister, like real late night and movies that you probably would not go see. You know what I'm saying? When we work for independent theater, like you already don't have the blockbusters. And so I think Dawn would kind of creep in there late so she could just enjoy the movie or whatever. But that's when we kind of started really like chopping it up, and like I saw her as like just a real person, a real nigga, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's real. I'm curious about like how the scheduling works. Like, would they ramp it up when there was like a big game on the schedule? Like if it was UConn week or something, like did you would need to be on call and you would be there more than if it was just like playing a conference game or something like that?
So they really treated it like they really respected that you had other shit going on. But at the same time, like the more you show up, the more engaged they're going to be with you. It's like with anything, like you get out of it what you put into it. But like there would be, what I remember is if there was a game on Saturday, on Friday, you practicing in Colonial. Like, so you're getting the feel, like you're practicing in the arena that they play in. So you're getting a feel for like how it's going to be out there. And as a practice player, you're out there, you're like, damn, like it's an empty stadium. I had been there before for high school, but it'd be like people out there. But when you're in there and it's empty and you see all that space, I don't know what it is, but like a bunch of space behind the backboard just kind of changes how you see the court. And that shit kind of like, you look up and you kind of get the chills running down your back or whatever. And I think that kind of ramps it up a little bit where you like, damn, like some real shit goes on this 94 feet when you're not here, you know?